My girlfriend talks nonstop about my roommate or housemate who she saw for like 30 seconds. I've had enough. We've been together for 4 months. Last week, I invited her to spend Christmas Eve together. My roommate was supposed to be out early, but he was home, and on his way out, they bumped into each other. I brought her over to our place several times, but they've never met. Quick introductions, and we moved on. Or so I thought. My roommate is an immature narcissistic motherfucker who happened to hit the genetic jackpot. Tall, lean, toned, symmetrical face. He knows he's hot, and he is. I don't deny it. His Tinder and other dating apps were literally blowing up with likes and messages. Up until he got banned for whatever reason. It's annoying, he doesn't even need to try. He goes out looking like a shoot, and girls or guys still conveniently line up to get forked. Since that day, all we talk about is my roommate, where he works, his age, hobbies, if he's dating anyone, really. And the list goes on. We go out to eat, and she asks where his favorite place is. We go work out, and she asks if he does any sports. Our convo would almost always shift to something about him. Then she started making all kinds of weird excuses to come over to our place. It's so obvious. I know she's just using me to get to him now. My last text to her was, "Why don't you go fork him instead?" On New Year Eve, I blocked her number.
This brings back such bad memories. I had a housemate who was a nice human. She was also about 5 feet 2. Cute button nose. Freckles. Brown curly long hair. Petite. I swear every guy that brought over immediately fell for her. A day or two later, they could confess to me they could not stop thinking of her. It was really painful. I feel for OP.
You sure she's not a witch?
That's cute. I like your thinking.
Is your roommate the mom from How I Met Your Mother? IRC. Ted does this exact thing to a girl and it turned out the roommate was the mom.
A girl I used to date was a dog trainer at a pet shop. And she'd go on and on about one of the people in her class. She'd talk about so much personal information she knew about him. And she knew things that she had never asked me about myself. Once when I said something about it making me uncomfortable, she told me I was being jealous and stupid. Then she started doing private sessions at his place. Again, swearing nothing was happening. Later, she ended the relationship with me. And I learned a few truths about her. She had not in fact been divorced as she claimed. She was getting divorced, which is a pretty substantial difference. She ended the relationship with me the day her divorce was finalized. Then she moved to another state to live with her new boyfriend. Later, I ran into that guy she did the training for and found out that they had been dating or forking for the entire time I had known her. He didn't even own a dog. She's now married again. Husband number 4. She was only divorced one time 3 years ago. I feel sorry for husband number 4. Because there's likely going to be a 5th, 6th, and more.
Ouch. That's tough. I'd say she got what she wanted honestly. And it sounds as though this would have happened at some point anyway. She was not a keeper.
Calm now, boys. Repeat after me. Where does she belong?
She belongs to the streets.
Glad you found this out about her only 4 months into the relationship. Not 4 years.
I'm glad OP knew when to quit and not get his heart broken unlike me. My ex-girlfriend, who bartended, kept talking about this new customer for months. I thought I knew her, and she wouldn't cheat because she's a decent person. So I shrugged it off. Well, his duck must have been too good because she still cheated.
Hoes will be hoes. My ex and I hit our first real rough patch and pretty much dropped me. And didn't even try getting through it even though we were engaged. Then got with her friend.
Sounds like my life, except she got with our neighbor.
I'm so proud of you for not putting up with that crap. You deserve so much better.
Agree with this. I'm also so proud of you. You deserve better. And you will find someone better. They both seem fake and preoccupied with the wrong things in a relationship.
Very shallow. Both of them together would make the end of a swimming pool proud.
Seriously. I had an ex talk about another guy like this. And every time a boundary was attempted to be set, it would turn around on me. And she would ask why I'd get so upset. Or didn't like him. I should not have been as nice as I let her walk all over me in fear of being all PC and not controlling. But the truth is that she was provoking jealousy. Which is worse than unprovoked jealousy for no reason. Even made a joke about cheating on me. Which was still somehow my fault after the fact. So glad to be out of that bullshit. Don't ever look back, OP. She'll go to the next guy. It won't work out. And then she'll seek attention from you again when she feels she forked up. OP. Fork her. And fork her for making you jealous, and fork all the FDS fiends that may find their way on here to justify her actions.
Holy cow. Did we date the same person? It's cruel and mean. Then you're the ace-hole for calling them out and or reacting. Causes madness. Those people will never be happy or satisfied. Don't take it personally.
Good for you. Honestly, I know it sucks and it hurts to think about it. But one day you find a girl who will be so in love with you. She won't give a truth about anyone else. Don't waste your time, energy, or emotion on this beat.
I'm still waiting.
The wait is over. I love you, baby.
Now kiss.
No, that's actually pretty rare for a guy unless you're a 9 or 10. You can, however, find a girl that's given up on bagging those 9s and 10s and may like you somewhat. As long as you bring enough to the table, and she gives it enough time. Just being real here.
And she will lose it and leave. Like they all do.
Be careful what you wish for. She might take you up on that last remark and make your home life miserable.
It doesn't seem like the type to settle down. If anything, they'll hook up once or twice. Then I'll drop her like a hot potato.
Don't insult potatoes.
I call the potato hot.
He was blocked from dating apps. He's no good, OP. My brother works in that area, and being blocked from dating apps means he was doing some forked up shoot. If she is into that, then they deserve each other. Hope you don't take her back.
My friend got banned because her name on Tinder was Emma when in real life it's Emily. It really isn't that difficult to get banned.
I would look at it like a litmus test. He's actually helping you. Instead of creating a long relationship and putting a lot of feelings and emotions into it to find out she doesn't really care. You have the benefit of finding out real quick. I would use him anytime I got girl. The good one would be able to notice his bullshit and be disgusted. She would be the keeper.
This man has a vision, OP. Starting every first date at your home when your roommate is home. This way you can definitely sieve through the right one.
I had a friend like this once who was very, very attractive to women and still is. He is a very nice guy, fortunately. But if there were women around, it was like all they saw was him. He'd get celebrity level attention no matter where we went. Girls would yell at him from across the street. And one almost got herself killed once. Running across one to talk to him. It was like nothing I've ever seen before or since. I noticed one thing though. Many of the girls who acted this way towards him were extremely shallow and often not very bright. Yes, they were often hot, but they were typically not people I would have enjoyed being around for more than just a little while. Believe me when I say you truly did dodge a bullet. As many others here have said, superficial people deserve each other and all the misery that will come with it. My buddy eventually did meet someone and marry her. But like I said, he was a nice guy. And he wound up finding a nice girl. Your scenario is different as both sound like ace rags. Even if they hook up, they will eventually make each other as miserable as they are making you now. Trust.
Break up with her. Sooner or later, you'll be cooked. Matter of time. Find a girl who gives you respect.
It is pretty fair to assume that he broke up with her by blocking her number.
Yes, but it's good to reinforce that eventually he'll be cuckolded. Because eventually, he might miss her and ignore all the signs she gave, of not loving him and want to sit on another guy's duck. At this point, he needs to be rational and not get back with her.
Isn't it kind of weird that a lot of people fall instantly in desire just because someone looks hot? For all she knows, the roomie could have a shooty personality, which it sounds like he does.
My ex-girlfriend went on a long tangent about what it felt like to fall hopelessly in love with a guy she met a week prior, and how that justified her cheating on me. She said all this while we were dating. In the apartment I paid for. Eating food that I paid for. driving a car with gas that I paid for. I kicked her out and lo and behold, 6 months after, she was homeless.
Well, get ready to see your now ex way more often. And I also suggest buying some good earplugs as well as sound isolation for your room. Your ex ain't gonna be quiet. And it will drive you crazy if not worse. Sorry to be so pessimistic. But seeing how she behaved, that's the most probable universe that you're going to land in.
It's fascinating how shallow human relationships are. It's basically pay to play.
Definitely a good idea to drop her. But your bitterness and jealousy over your roommate sounds like it's bad for your soul. Move out when you can and focus on your own security.
I definitely can relate. Everyone would either fall for my cousin or my best friend. Even my current partner has made comments about my best friend. Forking sucks, man.
Nearly same thing happened to me. Honestly, I've known this girl for 4 years. We've dated for 1.5 years. Broke up in an okay way and stayed best friends with benefits. Since then, I've become closer with one of my classmates. Introduced her to him. She wouldn't shut up about him. She fell for him. On New Year's Eve, we've dyed our hair black. Since they were busy play fighting, I've had to wash my hair on my own. She washed his hair without asking. If I wasn't thinking about my hair would fall off. Anyway, after she washed his hair, they fought some more. She got banged in the head. Lied down on my bed. I've taken care of her. And he was just watching. Cold towel. Water and shoot. Then, this girl, my best friend, whispers to me, "You should go away." Wow. Okay. I go away. Smoke my cigarette on the new year of 2022. Smoke a small joint. Then I come back to see them naked on my bed cuddling. I've just kicked them out. I don't know. I felt so shooty and lonely since. I need to talk to someone. I need this shoot from my head. I need to sleep. I need distraction. Fork.
I had a neighbor like this. He was 30 years old, divorced, and was a very attractive man. We would go out for drinks. And he would always pick up some women. I never had to worry about giving him a ride home. If they had the Tinder back then, he would probably be the king of Tinder. He was the manager of a grocery store. And he slept with pretty much every single female at the store. And then moved stores and slept with most all the single females at the next store.
Devil's advocate. You sure she's obsessed with your roommate? Because it sounds like the root of the issue is your jealousy or insecurity compared to him. Unreliable narrator and all. No matter, I suppose. Since you ended it.
Bro, you are incredibly dense. Asking that many questions is not normal. And OP was totally justified being irritated by it. What a bizarre take.
I mean, we have to find some way to flip it around to men bad. Even though if it was flipped, you know, they'd be saying, dump him, he's cheating or going to cheat.
That's not it at all. Look at your bias showing. Do some reflection because your ability to imagine other perspectives in this scenario lacks. Not picking either side because we have no idea what is actually going on. This just generates a thread on Reddit people participate in.
Had to go too far down to see this. No matter how I cut it, OP definitely has some internal issues with his roommate. I'd even go as far to say, after reading it all, I'm almost convinced this is a fake incel fanfiction. Or OP is so insecure about his roommate. He self-destructed when he knew his girlfriend bumped into him and couldn't let his paranoia that she thinks he's attractive go.
Either the girlfriend has never met a handsome guy before. Or OP has a vivid imagination. What a load of crab. Girl sees kind of hot roommate, symmetrical face and toned body. Ooh. And develops an obsession within a day. I reckon that if there a basis of truth in here, it's that OP is a very closed person due to his immense insecurities. And the girlfriend was just making conversation about a part of his life she finally saw.
My only thing is, it is good they broke up. Because he either sucks or she sucks.
This seems fake. Incel fanfiction.
Incel fanfiction would have ended with her comeuppance. Crying. Showing up at the apartment. Begging to be taken back. While the OP steals his nerves and castigates her and turns her away. Then, before OP can close the door, the roommate visibly drops dead of VD in the living room. Clawing at his pustule-ridden crotch.
Wow, are you that insecure to think she is trying at your roommate that you seem to romanticize to a point you block your own girlfriend? Did you ever think about talking about it? Did you ever think, maybe, just maybe, there is something wrong with your relationship and never bothered to ask? Or was she just a fork toy to you? Edit. You also probably did her a favor by blocking her. Because why would anyone want to be someone so insecure that you're hearing? Only listen to what she said about your super hot roommate when that's probably not the case.
Why not just explain how it makes you feel and ask why she wants to know about him so much instead? Communication gets you a long way. Maybe she was just curious. And you're insecure, which is okay to be insecure. But again, communicate. Or tell her to fork him, I guess.
You sound like the type to ask your partner 21 questions about a mutual friend under the guise of curiosity. There's no hard line drawn to where you can let them know you're feeling odd about it. OP's ex was actively investing in someone other than, and through OP. Which would make any person emotionally uncomfortable beyond reasonable extent. Labeling said response as insecurity is referred to as gaslighting. Communication is an absolute staple of a healthy relationship. But her behavior based on OP was far from it. Ultimately, you can wrap an old fish in a piece of paper labeled change. But it's still going to stink after some days.
Maybe I came across that way in my comment, I guess. But that's not how it is. The dude just spent a ton of time describing how forkable his friend is. Which kinda smelled like jealousy to me. Cheers though.
You're so disconnected from what's actually being portrayed. OP openly admitting to his roommate having won the gene lottery doesn't translate to insecurity or jealousy, and even if it did, who wouldn't feel like that if their partner drooled over someone else? He didn't spend a ton of time on it. Outside of providing enough context for thread's sake, most of the actual post was about his ex-girlfriend's fixation over his roomie. Either way, your post came across as disingenuous. Edit, words are hard.
Yeah, the problem sounds like the OP's raging jealousy and insecurity. He should probably deal with that. Lest every relationship end this way.
Please don't act holier than thou. If you had a boyfriend drooling over your roommate, I don't believe for a second that you wouldn't feel a little bit jealous, insecure about not being good enough. Don't pretend to be a perfect human being capable of controlling your emotions. You know for a fact you'd feel similarly if your significant other was constantly bringing up other dudes in the conversation. It's actually quite normal to feel annoyed when your significant other constantly brings up other dudes. You come off angry that the girl in the story got called out for her bullshit. The girl was in the wrong. Deal with it.
Now I'm curious what he looks like.
Pics of him or I didn't happen or something. I don't care. I'm just gay.
So, tell us about this roommate.
Can you post a pic of the roommate? One of us might want to fuck him too.
Take a number and get in line.
Hey Reddit people, didn't expect this many comments. Thanks all. My roommate and I always talk shoot to each other. It's our thing. I shared the post, and he was laughing his ace off crying. He wants to make a minor correction, i.e., it wasn't him but the other party that got him involved in banning from Tinder. Basically, whatever he didn't initiate, so it's not entirely his fault. I don't take his word for it. This isn't even relevant, but he was so fixated on this. You see what I mean by narcissistic motherforker. To be honest, I don't care anymore if she forks him or not. I told him if he's gonna fork her, don't do it at home. And he's cool with it.
Now I want to see what your roommate looks like.
Next thing you will want to know is where he goes out to eat.
Oh my god, why don't you just go fuck him instead?
Not at the house though.
Damn, we've fallen for OP's roommate without even seeing him.
Hey, why not? If he'll have me,